We should never, ever, say never, ever, ladies, degrade or belittle our male mate, our husbands. We should never do that. He's our rock. Say, he's my rock. He's my rock. So who takes a chisel to their own rock and expect it to stay the same? If you keep chiseling at it, guess what? You're going to end up with a pebble. Then when you really need a rock, all you can do is throw that pebble.
Rise from the ashes, from everywhere that we go, our light be flashing. 'Cause you're alive, yes you're alive. You can rise, as you're dusting off the ashes. Rise from the ashes, so everywhere that we go, our light be flashing. 'Cause you're alive, yes you're alive. You can rise, as you're dusting off the
6'4", 2 6'4" in the house. And how tall are you? I'm not talking about with your shoes. I'm talking about without the shoes. How fudging? You 5'6"? Okay. Anyway, you're a much smaller person than Eante. And this is where you guys are comfortable. You're comfortable with the fact that your spouses will not harm you. So that's why we find ourselves being rah-rah with them. You know, getting up and having that bad attitude, speaking to him in a manner that is not good. We should never, ever, say never, ever, ladies, never, ever, degrade or belittle our male mate, our husbands. We should never do that. He's our rock. Say, he's my rock. He's my rock. So who takes a chisel to their own rock and expect it to stay the same? If you keep chiseling at it, guess what? You're going to end up with a pebble. Then when you really need a rock, all you can do is throw that pebble. You got much. You done chiseled it away. You done chiseled it away. The fact of the matter is that in the middle of conflict, it should never take away from that person as a person. Males, the same thing. You should never, in conflict, go to the place of belittling or to degrade them or to now point out all of the errors and the faults that you now find in that person. It is the worst time to bring up, you're talking about, can I keep talking about the eggs? Okay. We're talking about the eggs. The eggs was the conflict, but now we're going to go talking about, oh yeah, and by the way, not just the egg situation, but since we own it, now we got a whole laundry list of all the things that bother you other than the eggs. And that is never cool. Say it's never cool. Never cool to bring out a laundry list when you're talking about one thing. Stick with the one conflict because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with what's on deck. And so when you take the moment to cause your mouths or your heart to speak things that are degrading, belittling, that will chisel away at the person, you now have to live with what you have done because those words can never be brought back. They never can. You may be able to smooth over and try and make it better, but in the back of that person's mind, whenever they are, there's a sense of doubt or a little bit of insecurity there, those words will ring in their mind as to what you have spoken about them or spoken concerning them. And especially, ladies and gentlemen, husbands and wives, pertaining to your bedroom, never go there. Say never go there. Never go there. Never belittle, never lower, never, ever, ever make a person feel insignificant in that area. That is not good. You understand? Good. Let's go to the next topic here. I said bad attitude is one thing that will cause the the relationship to get ugly. I have a little, I highlighted this part here. It says many times God uses our spouses as sandpaper to smooth out areas in our life that don't reflect Christ. we got to look at the conflict like that. Not sometimes. Whenever there's conflict in your relationship, in your marriage, know this: God is doing something in you as well as in them. He's creating in you patience and creating in you tolerance with the egg situation. Tolerance and patience. So while you say, see, you need to be thankful that I even cooked the egg. You got to remember that when you're looking back the other way, it's something, what is God doing in me? That's what you got to get to the point of. You got to try to figure out, because I think when we have conflict, most of the time we always try to find the error in the other person. We always try to figure out, well, God, what are you doing in them? I don't know. God, what are you doing in me? What are you trying to show me about me? What is the thing? Because I always say this: when something really bothers me, I have to say, God, that's something about me or something in me that you are trying to purge. When I'm, sometimes my patience is like that. Okay, so I know that's something God's developing in me, is to be more patient. My thing used to be anger, quick to anger. Well, you know what happened to get me to the point where I didn't have to be quick to anger. Folk got on my nerve. There's just no other way to put it, right? There's no other way to wear down getting quick to anger other than people try you. And you got to get to the point. So it's the same thing in marriage. If your thing is with your spouse is not being patient with them in their development, then you got to know that God is working on you in that area of patience or being kind. I am 100% convinced that some of the most unkind things can be done within a marriage. The most unkind moves or the remarks can be done between husband and wife because passion is fueling it. And husband and wife have passion, positive and negative. When it's good, the passion is good. Say good. But when that passion is fueled with the negative, it's just as sharp. It's just as intense, is it not? It's just like you can just chew them up. Like Sister Hogan, how you get all giddy. Yeah, I seen you. Get all giddy about that man and just chew him like a gummy bear. Then I can see you trying to chew him like a gummy bear on the other side of that thing too, when it's the other way. Now she's gnawing, but she's gnawing with the front teeth. It's a different kind of chew. So, not the same chew. The fact of the matter is passion is fueling it, and it can be dangerous as well as a good thing. So you got to be able to put a hold on it. You got to be able to manage your anger, how you deal with it, how you come at it. I always say this: when something happens, assess first. Instant response is probably always going to be the worst response. Can you think back in your mind about those instant remarks or instant moves in conflict? They probably, most of the time, were always wrong. But when you take a moment, do that. Now, take a deep breath. So you know what? I'm going to have to think about this for a minute. Just talk yourself right there. I'm giving you tools that's going to help you. You may be talking out loud and everything, but it's the thing that's going to talk you off the side of the mountain on things that you're going to get wrong if you don't take this moment. You have to say, you know what? I see you, devil. That's me. I'm talking now. I see you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this way. Okay. Help me, Jesus. How many say help me, Jesus? Okay, but when he's sending help, I want you to listen. Okay, let me talk about this topic here, because this is one of the ones that we've got to hit on because it's something that's happening in marriages, couples, relationships that should not happen, that will cause some of the most detrimental things in a marriage. And that's talking to other people before you talk to your spouse about your conflict. Now, I don't want you to raise your hand, but in your mind, raise your hand if you've done that. God bless. It is the worst thing that you can do. And I'll tell you this, because God gave us instructions on how to deal with conflict. Did he not? Okay, I got to take you to scripture. Let's go to Matthew 18 and 15. It says, if your brother sins against you, and go and show him his fault, just between the two of you. And if he listens, you have won your brother over. Now, I know we don't think about that, a husband and wife, as brother or whatever. But really, it's talking about conflict. It's talking about when you have problems with your spouse or with someone, and you can use this across the board, but we're talking marriage couples. Automatic foul. Automatic. Biblically, not good. And if she or he found out, it'd be a major conflict, right? Can you imagine, Brother Harry? Can you imagine having where you get wind that San talked with Tammy about conflict that y'all had and you don't even know about the conflict? It's a problem. Big problem. And we're going to need to talk, ain't it? Yeah, you and San going to need to talk. This is a moment. This is something y'all just having egg problems. Can you believe I got up out my bed? Yeah, I was tired. I didn't really want to get up, but I got up. And when I got up, I made him eggs, and all he can come up with, that's not how I like it. Now, she ain't talked to him about the eggs. She's on the phone. She's chatting it up with sister about the eggs just to find out down the road that she could have talked to him about the eggs. And so now making the eggs for me, but you got a problem with making the eggs for me? So now you feeling some kind of way because you over here chit-chatting about me with your sister about the eggs when you could have come straight to me and talked to me about it. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? And let me tell you about the sister. She going to take it and run with it. She going to have an opinion. She going to tell it to Aunt Sue and Aunt Lou. They're twins. About how ungrateful your husband is. How he ought to be thankful for you. So when he comes to the family reunion, they'll be looking at him, there he is. You ought to be thankful she made an egg for him. So they mad at him about the egg. You in bliss. You happy. You back to normal. And they stuck with his egg situation. I know I'm talking the truth. Your girlfriends, your buddies, your pals, they are not privy to what goes between you and your spouse. And then I know somebody said, well, the Bible talks about where if you don't agree, then you go and get a witness. That's Bible. You ought to go get people of wisdom. Don't go get a fool or somebody you think this is going to go on your side about it. You need somebody who is sound, is unbiased. How many have family members that are unbiased? Very, very few, right? No, because they always side with us. You can they can have you on film. That ain't her. That ain't her. That ain't her. That ain't Betty. I know she got purple hair, but that's just a coincidence. No, Betty's innocent, right? Well, that's how family members do. They always side for the most part, unless I'm your mama or something, because you know me, I don't do that. But anyway, for the most part, family members will side with their. So when you start talking to family members about your conflict, you bring them into your situation that they really don't have nothing to do with. It really is a mind your business moment. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you and he still got to figure out what y'all gonna do about these eggs. You still got to figure out how y'all gonna resolve it, because at the door, Aunt Lou and Aunt Sue still not coming in. Y'all close y'all bedroom door, and it's y'all. Y'all got to figure it out. And so by the time you drag all these people, everybody's going, and folk talk. So if you say this is confidentially between you and I, it's never confidentially between you and I. You do know that, right? When you're talking to family members. It's never between them, because they can't hold it. They can't wait to tell it to the next person. They mama, your aunt. That's your cousin, right? Now she done told her mama. Now she done rolled over and told her best friend. Her best friend done talked to the lady at the grocery store about something that between husband and wife needs to be resolved. Be very selective about who you use as a sounding board. And then if you have pastoral or pastor, that's a good place to start, is with your pastor, pastoral care, or counseling within your ministry as believers. That's a good place to start because it keeps everybody else out of it. And see, because when I get done talking, I roll over and go to sleep. I'm done. I don't carry y'all thing to bed. I'm done. Okay, y'all good? Okay. I'm gone. It's over. Done. It says, secondly, every story has two sides. There's two sides to every story. So the fact of the matter is that you may feel so passionate about somebody who can give you some wisdom because your side is very, very warped and very, very biased because you're only looking through your eyes. When we angry, do we really see another person's side? Do we really understand what the other person is feeling? Why? Because we just want to be right. We don't really care that you know, first of all, we women, we think y'all men ain't thinking too good anyway. Already we trying to rule you. Bible said it. I didn't say it. We already trying to rule y'all, so y'all already wrong right off the rip. So then we come in with our own thought, our own mind, and our own judgment on it. And we don't give opportunity for resolution to come, or we call a righteous resolve to come to the matter. Now, I'm going to open up the floor. Tell me, when is it ever okay to talk to the opposite sex about your spouse? Raise your hand. When is it okay to talk to an opposite sex about your spouse? Come on, come on, raise your hand. Come on. Franklin, come on.
I'm talking to you.
That's good. That's good. Tricky, but good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm good. Y'all good with me? Caught me on that one. Okay, so when is it cool to talk to the opposite sex your age about your woman? Oh, yeah, you with the mic.
Well, that's, I don't think my mic's on. Okay, cool. That is a more complicated answer.
It is. And I'll tell you, can I get some wisdom over here? Brother Heron, Deacon Heron got some wisdom.
I would say dealing with issues at home, you should never take your argument or disagreements outside and talk to anyone about what's going on inside of your house. So they're going to be three.
3 cups.
You know, so you keep things within the house. You dissolve it in the house. And if you love this person, you care and you give your life for this person. You do anything in the world for this person.
Go ahead, brother.
You don't want nobody else to talk about your wife or your spouse.
Saying you got it going on. Man over there pouring out his heart. Go ahead, you got a rebuttal. Go ahead, you on.
One of the things that I talk to young women about where I work is that if you have a friend that you want to talk to, be very cautious, because that friend may be that person that has been looking at your spouse while you're complaining about them. And the next thing you know, they're trying to comfort your spouse and trying to move in to that place where they want to be.
First, I was going to say exactly what she said. You know, as far as you never know their motives behind you behind you talking to them, and also that spouse will feel a sense of betrayal.
Right.
So that will linger, the betrayal part. That's really what I think will hurt the most.
Yes, exactly. I got Brother Donald. Give him a mic. Give him that mic.
I have learned through the years being a military man, I have to leave. So I make sure my family's squared away. That's
Right.
first of all.
Right.
You know, I pray about it. If she need power of attorney, whatever the case may be, so nobody have to come to the house and do anything for them.
That's right.
And if need be, then they'll call me back and I'll take care of whatever needs to be taken care of.
That's right.
Because when you gone, you like I said, you got people looking, they're watching,
Right.
they're looking for opportunity.
Right.
So I love her, so I'm gonna make sure she's squared away. Whatever she needs, I'm gonna make sure she's squared away. That's my
You got
job.
that, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got this. I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna take care of her, the kids, and the grandkids.
All right, Chris.
I can handle that.
So she don't need no counseling, brothers. When she get mad with him, she don't need your shoulder. And this is the thing, we have to be, and I know we're making a little bit of a joke about it, but this is stuff that will tear down families. The motives of people, you just never know. It always looks like it's trying to help or trying to be, one for the team. I'm for you all, but I would caution the one who's feeling the need. This is the one I'm talking to. The one who feels the need to go talk to somebody. Put a pin in it. Don't do that. Don't oust your spouse to nobody. People have an opinion about them, and it's from your lips that they have the opinion. That will cause lingering conflict because, like you said, if the spouse ever found out, like if I found out Reverend Powell was talking about me to members, that would hurt. I'd be devastated, and I'm your wife, and especially, if I'm open enough to where you can come talk to me, and let's flip the coin. Even if I'm not, I'm your wife. And so we have to find other ways of dealing with our issues and not putting our spouse out there for ridicule. That is something we cannot do. And I know we say, well, I have a girlfriend, I can talk to her about anything. To a point. When it comes to putting your spouse in the eyes of others in a negative way, you have to kind of pull back. You have to pull back. You have to say, like, when I'm in counsel, pastoral care, I'm not forming an opinion. I'm looking for resolution. I'm not looking for how to see this person. I'm looking for the resolution that will bring harmony to your relationship. So I'm unbiased. I have no dog in the fight. Okay? My thing is, let's get out of here in 30 minutes. Can we do it? That's my dog in the fight. Can we go? And afterward, can we eat? But at the end of the day, I always want to be able to say that I'm not leaning this way or that way. I want to stand with the truth in your relationship. You have to make sure that whoever that you're revealing your spouse to doesn't have a dog in the fight. They don't have, and that's why you can't talk to family members, because they might already don't have something for your spouse. They might not already like your spouse, and all you're doing is adding fuel to the fire for them to not like them anymore. Well, this is my thing. You obviously think that they're good enough because you married them. So why tell everybody else they ain't worth it? Why tell everybody else their flaws and faults? Why do that if you thought it was okay to marry them? Does that make sense? So if you think it's okay the way that they were, that you let other people beat up on them and pound them. Can they physically attack them? Would you let someone physically attack your spouse? How many? Dre be like, no, this ain't going down like this. Be taking off earrings and necklaces. I have to call you. Come here, Dre. I know I would. But we don't have a problem when they beat them up with their mouths. We let them, because at the moment I'm feeling some kind of way. So right now, I'm just going to let them just chew them up. And in the meantime, I'm going to chew them up. And then we're going to have a little chewing session about our spouse. And then after you get done and you find a place of a resolution, now you come back together, y'all done made whoopee, and now the other person is still looking at him like, yeah, something else. This is the stuff that we got to take out of our relationship. the inappropriate ways of dealing with conflict. Because this is what I want us to get tonight. If we don't get anything else, you're going to have it. Say, I'm going to have it. Tell your spouse or the one significant on next to you, if you have them here, say, you know what, me and you not always going to see eye to eye. Tell them, say, sometimes I don't get you. What in the world? What in the world? We don't get it, and I'm sure I get on this man's nerve. I know I do. Saying, Brother Hogan, he told you about it. You laugh kind of hard there. Are y'all talking about me? Okay. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't care anyway. I really wish some of y'all would talk and give him some place to release some of the anger and anxiety. I really wouldn't care. He needs it. Because I know I get on his nerves. I'm not always getting him. He's not always getting me. Sometimes I just say, you know what, man, you're just too much. I walk away and I go in the bathroom. Not mad. I don't get it right now. Let me go think. Man, let me stop talking. I can't. Let me think. I think today we had a little thing. He wanted me to do something with the business. And I said, okay, well, let me give him a call. And before I can call them, he called me 3 more times. I need to get this done, right? Conflict. I said, babe, don't. At the end of the day, we have learned how to deal with conflict. We have learned that I don't have to get here. I don't have to get here. I love him. Look at your spouse if they're here and do a little thing. I want you to stare at them in the eyes. I know, it gets silly, doesn't it? Look at them in the eyes. I know this, and most of the time, people find this very difficult to do. But I'm trying to show you something. Look at the eyes of your significant other. I want you to know what you're looking at. You are looking at your soulmate. This is you. Say, I'm seeing me. We are one. This is what you got to always remember in the middle of the conflict. If you never forget those eyes, okay, y'all come back, Davidsons. They always go overboard. Come back. I want you to do this in the middle of your conflict. Never forget those eyes. Never forget what you saw. Never forget what you saw in those eyes. I want you to know there's a living. Well, I want to say to our listening audience, thank you for being with us today. Thank you for joining us at the round table. Remember, conflict is a part of life. It's what we do. It is the understanding of differences of human beings. Boy meet girl. It's automatically a conflict right there. So with your significant other, with your loved one, the one that you love, remember that. Love them, keep them, and work it out. But work it out the way God would do it. And we'll see you again next week.